Hi, my name is Mark Neal, and today I'm excited to be talking with Justin Buzzard. Justin spent the last 10 years living and pastoring in the San Francisco Bay Area. He's currently the lead pastor at Garden City Church in Silicon Valley and is in the process of writing a book called Why Cities Matter. Welcome, Justin.
Thanks for having me. Great to be here.
I'm wondering if you could talk a bit about the importance to church planners and even existing churches of understanding cities from more than just a nominal perspective.
Yeah, well, I planted our church's Garden City Church. We're a year old. I planted it in a city because I felt a call to the city. More people live in cities than at any other time before in human history, and that's only growing. Man, over the next 25 years, we're going to see many more people just continuing to flock to the city. So I think we have this exciting, unique moment right now as Christians, as church leaders, as church planters, to seize what is happening in our cities and to impact our cities. We want to go where the people are, and so we want churches certainly in the suburbs, in the countryside, but where the heart of the action is today is in cities. So really, cities are about people. And so we don't need to talk in any kind of abstract way about cities. We just need to understand that the cities are where the people are, and we want to reach those people. Now, I don't know necessarily what nominal perspective people might be coming from in talking about cities, but every city has its unique culture, its unique ethos going on, and that's what we really need to understand as church planners is what is that unique culture that I need to speak to, resonate with, and challenge as a church planter.
So can you talk a bit about the power of church multiplication within the context of cities?
Yeah, well, I mean, you read the New Testament, you read the book of Acts, and how did the first Christians impact the world? I mean, how did we go from just having a handful of Christians, right after Christ ascends, we have the day of Pentecost, all of a sudden we start really off with a mega church, 3,000 people. How do we go from 3,000 people to, a couple centuries later, we've got 300,000 Christians in the world? How did that happen? Well, it happened through cities. It happened because, you read through the book of Acts, which is essentially this church planting manual unfolded. The early Christians took the gospel to the cities because they believed that that was the best way to follow Jesus' mandate, Jesus' commission to make disciples. So they went to the cities, they went to where the people were, and then the gospel spread like wildfire. You read the book of Acts, you're not hearing really about countryside places. You're hearing about Jerusalem. You're hearing about Antioch. You're hearing about Galatia and Corinth and Rome. You're hearing about cities getting impacted with the gospel. And so that's why churches need to get planted in cities, because that's going to be the best way for the gospel to spread.
Now, what would you say are the most important things that prospective church planners must know or understand about any city they're going to plant in?
Yeah. In this book that I've got coming out, we talk about 5 questions for understanding the city. So I think church planters and really any Christian should be thinking about these 5 questions. The first is just, what is the city's history? We want to understand the unique history of a city. So I think it's important to me in Silicon Valley, in San Jose, the 10th largest city in America, to understand our history. And San Jose is the oldest city in California, and it started with an entrepreneurial kind of culture, and that helps explain the culture that's here today. And really, the economy went through 4 major shifts. It used to be revolving around cattle, then it was revolving around wheat, then it was revolving around the fruit industry. This place used to produce all the fruit that was feeding, America, and now it's tech, now it's silicon.
Right.
So I think you need to understand your city's history. You don't have to become a historical giant on your city, but you need to understand its unique history, because the history of San Jose, of Silicon Valley, is very different than the history of New York. It's very different, than the history of Madrid. Like, we need to understand the unique history. Then I think you need to understand your city's values. That's the second question. What are your city's values? So here, it's innovation, it's speed, it's wealth, it's work, and it's important because you're not going to connect as a Christian, as a church planner, with people here unless you get those values. Those values are deep here. But on San Diego, it's different. Every city cares about work, but the way people will go about work in San Diego is very different than how they go about work in Silicon Valley. There's more of a relaxed pace there in San Diego, and so you got to understand that difference. Next, you need to understand, third question, what are your city's dreams? So the dream here in Silicon Valley is to make it. I mean, people don't move here to work. They move here to, to rest. They move here to work and to make it big in the next big tech company. And so it really helps to understand that's what people want to do here. They want to be successful. They want to strike it big. They want to become somebody and become something, which it kind of tells you what a city worships. So instead of the living God, that's what people worship here. Then the fourth question is, what are your city's fears? And really, that's kind of the reverse of the dream. What people fear here is not making it. So that big .com crash happened here a decade ago. It wasn't just that people lost money; it's that their worst fears had happened to them. Right. That everything they've been worshiping and seeking, it didn't satisfy them. And so that's a key way to connect with people here, to point to the fact that only God can ultimately satisfy you, not the dreams that you're chasing here. Sure. And then the fifth thing is, what is your city's ethos, kind of your mode of operation as a city? So our city here, we're built around the car. We're different. We don't look like San Francisco, 50 miles north of us, which is a very second most dense city in America and a much more walkable city. Silicon Valley is very spread out and really came to being after the advent of the car and invention of the car. So we're a car-based place. Right. We're a very casual place and an informal place, which is different than Boston. You go to Boston and there's a more formal culture there on the East Coast than there is here. We didn't call him Mr. Jobs. We called him Steve, who's passed away. It's informal here, which is different than maybe some other cities. So you need to understand your city's ethos and the best way to connect with the people there.
Right. Justin, I've really enjoyed talking with you. I know it's been short, but I'm really looking forward to seeing what's going to happen with Garden City Church and the Silicon Valley in the near future. And for our viewers, if you want to know more about Justin and Garden City Church, visit their website at gardencitysanjose.com. Thanks, Justin.
Thank you.